Richard Hart effectively nuked eHex with one tweet. Now, the interesting thing is this, right? That there is a tweet from 2021 that Richard Hart released that says that, look, drop one tweet and to get rid of weak hands, and then the real buying starts. But what I want to talk today about is what happens to eHex after this? What happens to eHex after this? Because we have seen some volatility on eHex onto the downside and onto the upside again. So we see it go down and then it swing back up, go down, swing back up, but not really hitting the highs of where it was before. Now, essentially, I think that eHex is now headed for a death spiral. Now, death spiral in crypto does not mean that it'll die completely. It just means that it will lose relevance, but it will still be a cryptocurrency which can somewhat store value. Now, let me explain. If you look at a few years ago, Bitcoin Cash used to be one of the top 5 coins, right? At one point, Bitcoin Cash flipped Ethereum. It was the second largest cryptocurrency out there. And what happened to Bitcoin Cash was this. It just slowly started to lose relevance, right? So it started to it kind of go through a slow death. But in bull cycles, Bitcoin Cash still pumps. In bear cycles, it still dips. It still has significant amount of 24-hour trading volume. Now, one of the good things about it is it's listed on multiple exchanges. It's got its own ecosystem, right? So it still has all of that. It's got like some huge miners. They've got their own DeFi chain. They do a lot of stuff, but it's essentially not as relevant in the crypto space as it used to be. It's nowhere near as powerful as it used to be. Now, I think that's the direction that eHex will go. It'll die a slow death, but it will still be a cryptocurrency that can somewhat move up with the market or move down with the market. But for the for the foreseeable short-term future, I do think that there's going to be a lot of dumping. So there's some people who, because what happens is that this happened, Richard Hart dropped this tweet, I think almost now about on the 11th, and that should be about 5 days ago, right? But then the people who are going to hear this news a week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, because as much as a lot of us are always right on the pulse of crypto, knowing exactly what's happening, some people just live their lives, they dollar cost average, and then they just forget about it. So there's going to be dumping and dumping and dumping, and there will be recoveries, right? dumping recoveries, because there is an eHex community that is strong. But I don't see it surviving without some of the major players, because a lot of the major players, because whether you like it or not, there are people who, everything Richard Hart says, that they will follow that to the T. And that means that there are people who are just going to dump regardless. They'll just want to swap it for PulseX, right? Regardless of the fundamentals of that the code is the same, that you can still earn passive, you can still earn some of that yield. Despite that, there's some people who just listen and just dump. So I don't think that those people are finished. I think that they will continue to come back and continue to dump. So I do expect that even though we're going to have swings to the upside, I think overall the price will be dipping. And in regards to eHex, possibly the best cycle to play eHex will be the next cycle, in my humble opinion. I say that because if you play it in the next cycle, all this volatility and all this uncertainty will be done, and we will hit a bottom. And after we hit a bottom, it can only go one side, up to the upside. However, I haven't seen yet a strong community backing it hardcore. And I also do think that there's a lot of dump side that needs to be solved, of a lot of those people who are just going to say, okay, look, Richard says it's bad, I have to dump it. So that I don't think is finished yet, that downside. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on what happens with eHex. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again next time.